So I'm going to be talking about what's currently going on in the My Hero manga. So if you only follow the anime and you don't want to be spoiled about what's going to happen, I suggest you check out now. Also, I'm going to be talking about stuff that happens in like the middle of One Piece from like 10 years ago. So like if you haven't seen One Piece and you kind of want to stay pure to it, then maybe you don't want to watch this video either. So in my opinion, Shigaraki, along with the rest of the villains, are pretty much going to win this arc. But this theory really rides on the fate of the series, which is unknown at this point in time. So I don't want to instill fear into anyone, but I just want to put it out there, the option that this series could be ending at the end of this arc. Now, I hope that it doesn't. I hope that it's just a paradigm shift, which I'm going to go into. But considering past comments that Horikoshi has made, and also, the sudden, untimely ending of Demon Slayer recently. But anyway, I'm going to assume that this is not the case, that we are coming to a paradigm shift in the series and not the ending of it entirely. So anyway, that also reminds me of One Piece, which also had a similar premise around this point. Like, this is pretty much the midway point of My Hero, I suppose, if it is going to continue. And it's similar to the midway point of One Piece, which was the Paramount War, where we saw like most of the significant hyped up characters at that point in the story come together and, duke it out for the fate of the world, about what was going to happen after that point. And that's basically what's happening with My Hero now, right? I mean, seemingly all of the storylines that have been built up since the very beginning are all converging at this point, along with all of the significant characters. And we already have some significant deaths with like a bunch of the Billboard heroes. It seems like at least Crust for sure, but there might be others at this point. And the same thing happened in the Paramount War. Now, it ultimately came down to significant characters dying like Ace and Whitebeard, and that affected everything within the world, and it came down to, I guess, basically the bad guys winning, which will be, the same thing happening with this arc. Now, what happened after that was Luffy, along with the rest of the main characters, basically ran away and went to Grief, and then like train and rebuild themselves, and then, come back and then, topple everything that happened as a result of them losing in the first place. And I also think that's going to happen here. So I think that it's pretty apparent now that All Might is definitely going to die, unfortunately, and I think Endeavor is going to as well. And it's going to like happen the same way or similar to like how Nana died against All for One, because we know that Horikoshi loves creating parallels between his own story moments in this series. I mean, we just saw one at the end of chapter 273 between Endeavor and Shigaraki. So, as Nana died to All for One, we saw that All Might witnessed it as he was being, carried away by Gran Torino. And I think something similar is going to happen here, where Shigaraki is like decaying All Might. Him going up in a decay lines up with what Night Eye saw of a gruesome death. And also, I think Izuku's probably going to witness this, and he's going to be carried away by somebody else. Maybe even Gran Torino, possibly. That would be pretty interesting if he was there for both instances. But when he does go away, I think he's going to be brought to America, of all places. Like after Luffy saw Ace die and he was carried away by Jinbei, they eventually went to Raskaina, where he griefed, and he went to go train with Rayleigh. But in this case, of course, it just won't be Deku going by himself. I think, Todoroki, Bakugo, the rest of Class 1A, maybe all of the heroes that are left at that point are probably going to go to America as well. And this would also give Todoroki and Bakugo reasons to grief and have motivation and all of that stuff as well. Like, we established that Deku is going to lose All Might, but also I think that if Endeavor dies as well, then Todoroki is going to have that. And then for Bakugo, it's going to be Best Jeanist, because remember, like before this, final arc kind of started, we were having like the storyline setting up, like the motivations and everything. And we saw that Bakugo wanted to tell Best Jeanist his hero name. And then we found out that Best Jeanist might have been killed by Hawks. And at this point, it seems like Best Jeanist is probably dead. Like Hawks, like probably straight up took him out. So Bakugo is probably going to have to deal with that. Now, like them going to America, what's going to happen? Like who's going to go with them? I'm going to make an entire video dedicated to this subject because obviously it deserves it. That's going to be the follow-up video to this one. So look out for that. Now, let me also point out that, this has just started. Like, Shigaraki hasn't even encountered Izuku yet. So, I'm leaping forward in time and, this arc is currently going on. So this video could be outdated very quickly, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there while I can. And then, as things happen, maybe I'll adjust things and make follow-up videos and whatever. But, we'll just see for now. But I think that it's probably going to play out this way. So while Izuku and the rest of them are in America, like what's going to be going on with Shigaraki? Well, I think he's just going to take over Japan at that point. I don't think it's going to be like a global takeover. I know it seems like it's being made out to be that way, but I don't think it's going to be global yet. It's just going to be Japan at first. And another thing why, we never heard about America being brought into this equation. It's just mainly been staying like domestic at this point. And I think it will be there for the foreseeable future. It eventually spread to global, in my opinion. But anyway, so like it depends on how bloodthirsty Shigaraki or how crazy he is, I guess, because when he says like the destruction of society, I'm not sure how literal he means. Like, does he mean he's actually going to like destroy it with his quirk and like there's just going to be nothing and it's going to be like some kind of weird, I don't know, dystopian purgatory-esque place like what God Doom did in the Secret Wars of Marvel? I don't know, but maybe it's going to be something like what we saw of like after the Villain Academia, like when he was on stage with like the lieutenants and of the Paranormal Liberation Front and like all of the members of the Liberation Army, like from the Deka City and everything, they were like in the audience praising him. It could be something like that, but just on like a national level, maybe. It depends because, like I said, I don't understand completely all of the motives of Shigaraki yet. So hopefully this all plays out like this because this is where things get really interesting, if they haven't already been, because now that he has control of Japan, he can do whatever he wants. And that's like taking control of Tartarus prison and then just releasing everybody in there. Because obviously we saw that he was like kind of like communicating with All For One before this. Like we saw like All For One from Tartarus like recently in a panel. So I'm assuming that he's going to show up there, reunite with All For One. And then whatever happens at that point is like 50-50. Either he's going to kill All For One, which I assume is most likely. Like he's going to take all of the quirks that All For One has inside of him, still, and one of them being the longevity quirk that Yujiko had, and then I guess he's just going to shrivel up into like a mummy, the way that we like saw Yujiko becoming, and then that's probably going to be the death of All For One, I suppose, and then Shigaraki will be empowered with all of those quirks that he had, because remember when he's going back, when he was fighting everyone in Kamino, like before he fought All Might, he was like all for Shigaraki, like this quirk, when he was talking to Bez Genus, he was like, your quirk isn't good for Shigaraki, I need something better, or something that doesn't require training and skill. But so that means that he's going to pass them on, and I think that's going to line up with the whole Tartarus thing here. Now also there's other people in Tartarus, like Stain, Overhaul, Muscular, I think Moonfish is in there. There's probably some others that I'm forgetting about, but Shigaraki might like talk to them and then like I don't know, try to, instead of just like killing them, just like negotiates them to joining him. Like maybe with Overhaul, he's like, hey, you can join me if you want. And then, I don't know, maybe they do something with him. And then maybe Muscular comes back and then Stain. That's the wild card because it's like Stain obviously isn't going to join Shigaraki, but I think Shigaraki will just let him go. And then Stain will just, I don't know, just be a character in this world again. And then he'll just be like a gray area, like chaotic neutral. If only. But one more thing or parallel, I should say, that I think that makes this likely, aside from like the war stuff, is Star Wars. Because like I talked about in my previous My Hero videos, that Horikoshi is a big fan of Star Wars. Obviously, a lot of parallels in the series, inspirations and whatnot. And like at the end of Revenge of the Sith, when the Empire win, or should I say the Sith win, and then the Empire is formed, and they take over everything, and then like Obi-Wan and the rest of them have to run away and then rebuild themselves, and eventually Luke comes back. But that's a much longer span of time. But anyway, basically the same things are gonna happen here with Shigaraki and Izuku. But let me know what'd you think about this theory, or what you think is going to happen in the rest of this arc, or just the series in general. Let me know. But if you liked the video, guys, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you access to a weekly Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.